everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Holistic Health Happy Hour. And today we're going to talk about the full moon coming up. We'll give you some details on that in a moment. But before that, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Julie Sherwood from Your Best Hopes Wellness Coaching, my website, yourbesthopeswc.com. And I'd like to let you know about a new offering that I have. It's called the Life Path Empowerment Package. And this is an opportunity for you to combine your astrological blueprint as prescribed by the lunar nodes and other things in your chart with root cause therapy to help you move any blocks that are hindering you in really, truly aligning with your life path. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, yourbesthopeswc.com. In the meantime, here's my cohort.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria Schumacher. I do a little daily astrology blog on Facebook that you may have seen. And I have a new website of my very own called venus-13.com. Venus for my favorite planet and 13 for 13 sign astrology, where I bring my experience with esoteric learning, Wicca priestess, and astrology, and have a few offerings designed to help you get some guidance in your life. I've gotten lots of guidance in my life from other such resources, and I want to give some of that back in the form of my unique stuff.
Yes.
So venus-13.com. There, we have plugged ourselves.
Hey, we all have ways to get on this journey, and you and I have been on these journeys with other people too. So
it's the shame. This was hard, you guys. This is just give us credit. This was hard. We did it.
Remember, we're not
famous plug session.
Yes. And as we continue on our very amateur approach because we are not Hollywood produced, we do not edit all of this stuff later. Literally, as soon as it's done recording, we upload it. So there you have it. But at any rate, along those lines, when we did the new moon in Aquarius, we did a live broadcast on the Radical Astrology page on Facebook. If you're interested in looking into that, just search for it on Facebook and see what's out there.
And we're going to be doing these. I'll just plug us a little more. We're going to be doing these twice a month, live on the new moons and recorded on the full moons. So there will be another live broadcast for the next upcoming new moon.
Yes.
Which is, when's that going to be again? I think I forgot.
Maybe the big April 8th eclipse.
Oh, is that what that is? Yeah. Oh.
So stay tuned, people. Stay tuned. But anyway, for the new moon that was in Aquarius, actually Aquarius cusp Pisces, boy, say that one 4 times fast. There is a little worksheet that my dear friend Maria put together about how you can manage this energy that comes in with each new moon. And there's a notes page. I'm going to do a little quickie share screen here. And for those of you on the Radical Astrology, if you go back to the video replay, and now we are screen sharing, you'll see in the comments section, I posted both pages of this particular tool where you can take some notes on what we're sharing today about the full moon that we're going to talk about.
So, yeah, and this just helps, make it personal for you so you can keep track of your journey through the year in a personal way.
Yeah. And, as these moons go on, if you look back, say, a year from now and you go, how did I manage that new moon in Aquarius in 2024? Oh, these are some of the tools I did. It may help you going forward for next year too. So just a thought. But I'm going to take the share off. And if you're not on Radical Astrology or don't have access to it, feel free to reach out to us through our respective websites, yourbesthopeswc.com or venus-13.com. And let us know if you'd like us to send you a copy of this particular document.
Getting so smooth with these shameless plugs. It's
really not shameless. Not shameless.
That's true. There is shame.
Yeah. As we continue on. Anyway, full moon. So what you got for me for the full moon as far as the overarching theme as I share the screen for the chart?
Okay, here comes the chart. So this full moon is in Virgo. That means that if you were to look up at the full moon, you would see the stars of the constellation Virgo behind it. I'm not sure if Probably not. I think tropical might put this in Libra or at the cusp of, although this might be one of those rare circumstances where constellational and tropical meet up. At any rate, the moon is in the stars of the constellation of Virgo. That also means opposite, the sun is in the stars of the constellation of Pisces. Not just the sun, pretty much every flippin' else is there too. You will notice that we've got a
big circle.
conglomeration of planets opposing the moon right now and the moon's south node.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. This is a pretty major big deal. So a full moon is when the sun and moon are in opposition. So when we see the moon high in the sky at night, we don't see the moon opposite from her. We don't see any of the other planets opposite her either.
Right.
But she's getting the energy and the light from all of them. And when I say all of them, I mean literally all of them. Everybody is opposite her, and just about everybody is in contact in one way or another. Even Pluto, Mars, Venus, Neptune. So this is a big deal. Everyone is sending some love over to the moon and the south node in Virgo.
Yeah. And it's interesting that the sun, we were noting that the sun is like dead center in all of this pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
100%, but it's almost like it's like this lighthouse, this beacon that's shining directly at the moon while all of the friends are hanging out on the edges here.
Exactly. And so what that means in terms of energetics is that the theme for this full moon is definitely clarity, right? That there's an opportunity to get clarity in pretty much every aspect of your life, given the preponderance of planets down that way. But most importantly, we want to look at, the moon and the south node. Sun is still conjunct Neptune. Sun is still within conjunction of Neptune, which adds to that clarity, that sort of inner knowing. Chiron, the body of the wounded healer, is conjoined to the north node. So there's sort of clarity of direction, right? That whole, this lunar eclipse cycle is going to be about healing the south node so that we can move into the north node.
And we were noting what's really interesting about this is this whole concept of the two kind of theme words we were talking about was surrender and clarity. And
yes.
How the journey with the north node and the south node, I see it as an infinite loop, right? Granted, our overarching goal, for lack of a better term, is to move in direction of the north node, but you can't go there unless you know what's behind you from the south node. So you turn around, you look behind you. What did I get from the south node? I need that to move to the north node. You turn. So it's an infinite loop. So you can have surrender and you can have clarity, but you need, if you surrender, you get clarity. And oftentimes once you get clarity, you can surrender,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's this beautiful symbiosis between the two key words. Right? How many times have you been in a situation where you're like, I can't get the answer. I can't get the answer. And you're constantly searching. And finally you just go, you know what? I don't care anymore. Whatever comes, comes. And all of a sudden, bing, it hits you right between the eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's very much the message of this. Embedded in this whole lunar cycle, which began with the last new moon in Aquarius, at the cusp of Aquarius Pisces, we had a feeling of new beginnings, right? We had a real feeling that, boy, there's something that is starting here. You could almost say this is the beginning of a new year. This is when the year really began with that new lunar cycle. And the awakening of the individual to his purpose, both for himself and the purpose of individuals, or the power of individuals coming together for a common purpose.
Right.
So, we had beginnings, individual, purpose, clarity, and surrender comes into this too. Now, the thing about surrender is that it has connotations of its own, right? It
Oh,
has
yeah.
surrender is something not that we want to do, and we're afraid because if we weren't afraid of what was coming after this, there wouldn't be a surrender necessarily.
Right.
We
Right.
would
Because you
go.
fight it. You fight it.
Because you fight it.
Yeah.
Because you fight it, but you don't have to. And I think that's the great beauty of everybody in the Pisces end of the chart right now, is that there's just so much energy telling us that it really is okay. It really is okay to let go and trust. And know that because of everything you've been through, everything you brought forward in that South Node, that you always have that with you. You always have your comfort zone with you. You always have what you've already mastered in your kit. You have all of that to
Draw on.
help you to fall back on
Mhm.
if times get tough. But you can't stay there forever, that you
Right.
still do have to move forward into a place that is unknown. And because it is unknown, it can be scary.
Mhm.
You know,
No,
Virgo. Hmm?
no, I was gonna say, as I'm thinking about the word surrender too, and something you had said, I can't remember the exact words, but what I kept thinking about was, not surrender in the sense of lay back and take it all, right?
Right.
Not be the victim or the doormat, if you will, but
Or the
just
loser.
right, but
There's no losing.
surrender. Exactly, but you're surrendering in that clarity. You're surrendering with that clarity because now you have a sense that you
Mhm.
can do it with purpose, if you will. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's a different thing to step back and say, okay, I just surrender to all that is, rather than I surrender, I'm going to take it, right? A different
Exactly.
energy.
When when I was a kid, we had a pool. And young Maria, of course, young Maria and every other child who learned to swim in that pool held on to the ladder for dear life
Okay.
until that moment that they were ready to let go.
Yep.
That's the kind of surrender we're talking about, where it's like, I want to swim. I see other people swimming. It looks fun, but I've never swum before and I'm scared.
Well, and the
And
surrender with clarity is knowing you can float.
yep.
You can surrender to the float. You're not going to sink.
Mhm.
As the surrender without the clarity is the sinking, right? I just give up and I'm going to sink to the bottom. I love that metaphor.
There you
That's
go.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay.
Another metaphor.
The other quick thing I wanted to bring up too is that the whole thing about the power of the individuals coming together for a common purpose.
Mhm.
And that's, the last few stars, I mean, the whole thing about Aquarius, and with that new moon cusp we had, you can't move into the stars of Pisces going back to the all that is, we are one, the divine consciousness, if you will, if you can't come together,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're still all these individual little particles. You don't have
Mm.
that clarity and understanding that the surrender is the surrender to the divine. So it
Mhm.
all works together. It's boy, astrology.
Yeah, that as we're surrendering to our individual purpose, we are also contributing to the surrender of mankind to the common purpose.
Right,
And it's
right,
an interesting, and that's kind of spelled out in this configuration of planets, not so much, but the moon is reflecting the light of everybody back to everybody opposite her there.
right.
And so that's kind of the story of this whole full moon in opposition, is that everybody is coming together at the bottom of the chart there for the common purpose of having their light reflected back to them by the moon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting too. I'm going to touch on just another little side note is with these two little friends over here, Jupiter.
Poppy and Dave.
Poppy and Dave. Yeah, for more information on that, read Maria's dailies.
Big Poppy.
But Poppy and Dave, better known as Jupiter and Uranus. Uranus connects to Aquarius. It's that authentic, unique me that I bring to the collective community. Jupiter asks us to expand into that because he's the expanding benefic. And Aquarius, Aries is the self, the one. So it's that balance of bringing the me authentically to the collective community and really own that.
Yeah.
Expand into that and own that. I think it's really important for us to do that.
And take action toward that. Take inspired action.
Yes.
Take unexpected inspired action, right? So
yeah, good old Uncle Dave, Uranus.
Good old Dave. Yeah.
Unexpected.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
So
Gotta have some humor in all this. Anyway, shall we leave the share or should we stop the share and go talking into how we can manage the energies of these moons?
Let's keep the chart up. Let's keep the chart up so that folk can follow around. So what we do here is for the full moons, at the new moons, we talk about the houses, right? If the new moon is happening in your first house, your second house, your third house. For this, we talk about how this full moon will relate to you based on where your lunar moon is. So for example, my natal moon is in Libra, right? So
Taurus.
I will, as somebody with a Libra moon, I would probably be being affected by this new moon by finding clarity in my relationships. Libra has a lot to do with the seventh house. So for example, I use myself as an example again.
Yeah, we'll go through each one of these individually so that you can follow, along. But again, look at your own chart, know where your personal moon is on the day that you were born. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm Taurus, Maria's Libra, and we're going to talk about how to manage the energies of this Virgo full moon from the perspective of your natal moon.
Based on where your natal moon is. Yeah.
Okay. So just so that everybody kind of can follow that. And I do this, there's the two things I do all the time. And of course we have Mercury in Pisces, which is making murky communications. I intersperse Mercury and Mars all the time. So half the time I'm saying Mercury, I mean Mars. And I intersperse full moon and new moon all the time. So know that we are talking about the full moon. And if we're talking about somebody hanging out in Aquarius, that's Mars. And if we're talking about somebody hanging out in Pisces, that's Mercury. So just follow along and do the interpretation, translation work on your own. Mercury in Pisces.
Try to hold on. We're doing the best we can.
Right. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Mercury in Pisces, do you want to make note of the comments you have under that? On the notes up at the top there?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about that.
We didn't. Mercury, why do we want to talk about Mercury, people? Because Mercury is going to be very important for the upcoming eclipse. See, a lot about this full moon is setting us up for the eclipse that is coming. It's almost as if saying, okay, look at this right now, because in just a few days, and in fact, later tomorrow, the moon itself is going to be conjoining that south node and really lighting all of this up.
The day after the full moon.
Yes.
We're recording on the 20th. So we're already in our brains on the 25th. So
I was assuming that they were going to be seeing this on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep. I see Mercury in Pisces.
Mercury in Pisces. You just gave you an example.
Follow along.
Right. And so there's Mercury in Pisces, right? Has been opening up our intuition. I mean, so much about this Pisces transit with the sun and Mercury there have been opening up our intuition, right? For messages, communication, learning, guidance through dreams. And so here's where we really want to get into Mercury and Pisces, because dreams.
Yep.
Because dreams. I mean, sun crossing near Neptune also dreams, but even more than that, Mercury and Pisces dreams all month long, right? So and using your gut instinct. It's so funny that in Pisces, when even the sun and the moon are in Pisces, it's just not about your head.
No.
It's just not about your head. It's thinking with your entire system.
Right.
It's sensing and processing through your entire being. You remember Pisces is kind of where everything comes together. And that also means your entire energetic system is going to come online, and like triply so now, because we've got the nodes there, we've got Chiron there, we've got the sun there, we've got, everybody and his cat is down there in Pisces opposite Virgo.
Right.
And so it's bringing that all online. So
Well, and
yeah,
how you get that clarity too is to listen to those channeled messages, listen to that gut instinct.
Yeah.
Think about your dreams. If you're not a dream journal, or maybe become one, or whatever, or automatic writing,
right, yeah,
ways to manage the communication other than just somebody telling you, you read about it or you write about it, right? It's
exactly.
doing it from
And
here.
yeah, and you will probably feel, the other thing about Pisces is change. You will probably find, once you get out of your head, which talks to you all the time about what it already knows, right? What it already knows, what you already are, how you identify yourself, blah, blah, blah. All that gets kind of muddied in Pisces, and you got to feel your way to what is authentic now.
Right. Right.
What is authentic now? And it being right next to Aries, which has Big Poppy and Dave, who are all about what is authentic right now. Right. So that's what's happening. You might find, if you weren't a dream journaler before, you might be.
Right.
If you were a big time dream journaler before, you might be like, nah, not so much. I'm going to dance my way through. You're really like, however, your modes, your modalities, your preferences, things by which you always identified yourself are probably going to change. They're at least going to be questioned. And if they don't pass the feels good test,
Yep.
it's
And,
just
and
not happening.
And it's interesting too, because what came to us as far as how to work with this particular full moon, we talked about using different modalities. And last time when we were talking about the houses and managing the new moon, we used crystals. So now we're going to talk about using sound and the chakra system. So if that isn't more of an intuitive internal kind of thing, rather than going and putting your hand on something, it's just a different way to work with it. And this is what came to us.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Because we've got so much earth and fire activated. I'm
yes,
sorry, earth and water activated.
yes,
We needed air and fire to kind
right.
of balance that out. And so what is air and fire but music?
Sound, music, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And it's really interesting because air, for those who may not know, air correlates with communication, mental activity, interchanging of information, that kind of thing. And then fire, like you said, Marie, it puts that energy behind it, right? If
yeah.
you
Purpose. It gives a
purpose,
purpose
that's
to
what it
it.
was. Yeah, the
Yeah.
purpose.
Whereas, air can be like, but when fire catches something, whoom, then we make something out of it. Right.
Yeah. And I'm going
So,
to share one quick little note here that I read in a particular book today, because it was just talk about divine timing. And it basically talks about an orchestra when it's warming up. If you've ever heard that, you get all the
yeah.
discordant sounds. And it says the disparate and discordant sounds permeate the air with chaos until suddenly there's complete silence. A still and pregnant moment when the orchestra senses their togetherness before bringing the sound back into the room. This is the sentence. What follows is a magical display of humanity's ability to create order out of chaos. And that's that clarity, surrender, clarity, surrender, clarity. And it just makes a beautiful song when it comes together in such harmony.
Yeah.
So,
In a nutshell, that's what you're getting from this full moon and from the accompanying eclipse that's going to follow soon after.
right.
It's
This is
just,
setting the stage.
yeah.
This is setting that. And when we go into the different signs or constellations, if you will, when we talk about the natal placements for people's moons, we will talk about the chakras, and we're going to talk about them from a yin and yang perspective. So just understand, we'll talk a little bit about the energy. If we say the particular associated chakra is the root chakra, for one particular grouping of people, it'll be in a yin perspective, and in the other grouping, it'll be in the yang perspective. So just kind of setting the stage for that too. So Aries, my friend, tell us about Aries.
Yay. Okay. So if your natal moon is in Aries, you could be getting some clarity on yourself. What really makes you tick? Like
Who the me is in all of this.
who the me is in all of this? What am I about? What makes me tick? What am I doing?
And to manage the full moon has the potentiality of being a very high energy. So if you're feeling that discordant energy, as we talked about, those of you with your moon in Aries, the associated chakra is the solar plexus in the yang position. So the sounds that are associated, maybe sounds that are harps or strings, things like that. So when it's the yang energy, you want to push that energy out of that solar plexus chakra. You may have too much of that feel. So perhaps play music where you imagine the strings or the harp or anything with that string sound is just going into that solar plexus chakra and pushing it out back to the earth to be transmuted. And then your chakra can rebalance and feel in harmony with you as you manage this Virgo and full moon energy. So that's an example of how it would work for Aries. Taurus, that would be me. So tell me how I get to do this.
All right, Ms. Julie. So you with your Taurus moon might be getting some clarity on your values. What is valuable about you and to you? Right. And I think it might be a little more, there might even be a little more what's valuable about you, but it's clarity on values, what your values are. And then again, you may find those have changed because we've got a big energy. I mean, we had the 58555s of yesterday, right? It's all about change too. So
yeah,
that's our Taurus moon peeps.
and it's interesting with the moon in Virgo, I can kind of relate to some of the Virgoan energy because I'm a Virgo ascending, and I'm thinking about the perfectionistic tendencies that Virgo can bring, right? You want to make order out of the chaos and you want it just perfect. So what I may value is what is enough is good enough, and there's that surrender, right?
Yep.
And then for those of us with the Taurus moon, our associated chakra is the yin heart. So the heart is all about giving and receiving love. And in the yin perspective, it's I need to open my heart to receiving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I manage this beautiful moon energy, if it gets to be too much for me, I just need to open up to those around me and say, I'm ready to have you help me surrender to the yin of my heart. Receive it. And it's okay to receive it. You don't have to always give. Receiving is okay.
And indeed, so perhaps for a Taurus moon, you might need help from others showing you what's valuable about you.
Yes.
Right? I mean, to allow people to show you what they value in you or what is valuable about you.
And receive that love, right?
Receive it.
The heart chakra. Exactly. And the sounds that are useful for this are gongs, Gongs, that's a hard word to say, or bells. So that metallic sound of something striking, that metallic sound to get that resonance in that frequency. So I could sit and listen to, certain bells as I open my mind to my heart chakra, just receiving that in, bringing it in so I can open the heart.
Yeah.
Yay. Gemini moon.
Gemini. Clarity of curiosity. What do you find that you're most curious about? What piques your interest? What do you want to like learn next?
Yeah, just really exploring all of that. Excuse me, and it might even be exploring what this moon means to you. That's the curiosity that you may want to explore as well.
Seriously.
Yeah. And the associated chakra is the yang, the giving, the pushing, the masculine energy of the throat.
Mhm.
And the sounds that may be useful are sounds like in nature, ocean waves, the wind, listening to that white noise kind of stuff. But it also may, because it's your throat chakra, you expressing those sounds. Blowing wind, not blowing wind. That was funny.
Thanks,
But
Dave.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
just
breath.
imagining making the sounds yourself. If somebody were to ask you, emulate the sound of a wave, how would you do that? Use your
Yeah.
throat to do that. Push it out. Imagine it coming out from you so that that chakra can close down so that it's not so open and it can be in balance.
Mhm.
Then you could explore the curiosity energy.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Cancer, clarity of your emotional needs. What will best support you emotionally? And this one, I feel like this could be a real powerful moon for cancers. For cancers and Scorpios, my water sign people might find this really strong because there's going to be a lot of either my emotional needs are getting met or they're not. And that is going to become very clear to you with all of this Pisces connection here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you might just sit there and cry about it.
You might just,
And
my
that's
emotional
okay.
needs are not being met. And especially if you've been a little bit in denial of it,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sorry, but my emotional needs just are not being met. But the good news is that you also will probably get some inspiration
Haha. That ties into the chakra.
exactly into how they could be met. So,
And that would be because your associated chakra, my lovely Cancer moon friends, is the the yin third eye. So using that intuitive guidance, that gut instinct to really tune in and with that yin energy, bring in what comes. Don't work at it, just receive it and let it come in. You get that weird hit that's like, where the hell did that come from? Receive it. You just sit there.
yeah.
What do I need to have clarity in my emotions? And don't go look for it, just receive it. And the sounds, believe it or not, that would be helpful are using the universal sound of Om. Just sit there, Om, and I can't sing, but just feel that vibration in your body as you bring that tone into you. Imagine it coming in through your third eye chakra and just centering in your body. And then just imagine that third eye opening up so it can receive. And as you Om, just visualize it. So that's
So
how you
that
Cancer people can deal with this.
can deal with this, can deal with this. Like, my emotional needs my emotions and needs are not being met. What can I do? Oh, okay, that's what I can do.
And,
Right?
and, and it's interesting because if you think about the sun and moon relationship in a full moon, they are opposite and they need to be in that dynamic balance. It's like the seesaw. If you've got too much of one and not enough of the other, it's all about finding that balance. Not the
Mhm.
blend, but the balance. Full moon calls for the balance.
Mm.
All right, Leo peeps.
Leo peeps, clarity of purpose. I think that feeling what you're about, Leo peeps are going to just feel, okay, here's what I'm about, and I am going to express it. And that might mean standing up for yourself, right? Like, this is what I am about. I am going to plant my flag here. I'm going to put my paws on top of this hill, and I am going to defend it if I have to. But mostly, I'm going to roar that this is my hill.
Yeah. And
And
interestingly enough, the associated chakra here is also the third eye, but in the yang energy.
mhm,
Right? You're going to put out there that when you're expressing yourself, you're going to express yourself from the intuitive point of view, right? What is my gut instinct saying? I got to tell people, hey, I got this intuitive hit on something. And I really need to tell you what I believe my purpose is from the gut instinct point of view, not what's in a book, it's like, oh,
you
wow.
might not even be, using words. It
Yes.
could be literally a matter of just full body no. or full body, yes.
Yes.
That all I have to do is stand here and look at you, and you're gonna know what I'm saying. You are going to know what I'm trying to express just by my very presence. So
And as you use the Om sound again, because again, the sounds are going to be the same for yin or yang, you're pushing it out there. Almost imagine that you're broadcasting what it is that your instinct is telling you to take to the world as that clarity of purpose,
Mhm.
right? Again, not all the research, not all the Gemini type energy, but just let it come in and then you can push it out to the world like, oh, wow, I never thought about that. I
Yeah.
really need to stand in that purpose.
You do.
And like Maria said, you'll feel it.
Yes. Now there's a bit of a caution here because Leo can be in quincunx to that sun, right? To that full moon energy, right?
Which
So
means,
it can be in difficult aspect to this. So there is a danger of over pushing. I think that a Leo moon will want to take care that, all right, standing up for myself, good. Blowing up banks, not so good, right? There's a risk of overing. There's a risk of overbearing with Leo here.
and
So
that's that seesaw thing again, right?
yes.
So
Yeah,
lean into the fact that your ruler, the sun, is in Pisces and surrender a bit to it.
exactly. Well,
Yes. Well, yang
genius.
energy doesn't have to be like throw it in your face. Again, it needs to be in balance.
Yes.
And so how can I, as that Leonine energy, fire energy, go, okay, the sun's got a little bit of softness around it with that Pisces. So I'm going to tap into that first before I push out.
Yeah, and remember, Leo, you've got sort of a natural inner strength. Leo sort of come in understanding what it means to be sovereign in yourself, which
Right.
means you don't really need to push it. You simply need to express it.
Yes, I love that. You don't have to push it, you just need to express it. So there's your theme for the rest of the full moon cycle.
Yes.
All right, Virgo friends.
Virgo friends, my Virgo moon peeps, clarity of vocation, right? Sensing what you can do to help improve your quality of life. And also understanding that that will improve the quality of life for others, but mostly in Virgo, we're still improving ourselves with an understanding that that has an effect on other people and that to an extent we're dependent on other people to pursue our vocation.
Well, this is the moon, right? The
Right.
moon, the actual full moon is in your stars.
Yes,
It's about that internal self, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Clarity of purpose. You're I think that Virgos, especially if your moon is conjunct this full moon,
Yes. Yes.
what can you do to improve your quality of life? Because you know that you're part of that axis. You're part of that flow of a north node, south node
Yeah.
moving
Yep.
forward, and that what you want to do is improve your quality of life.
And as to clarify, the
Yeah.
Leo people are answering the question, why am I here? Whereas the Virgo is, how can I do it?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
We're beyond the why am I here?
yeah,
It's like it's now what am I doing?
right. Exactly. And so to manage this energy for you, the associated chakra is the yin aspect of the throat chakra. And just like the Gemini who has the yang aspect of it, it's the sounds of the ocean waves or wind again. So imagine pulling it in, breathing it in. Breathe in as if you were a wave. Do maybe wave kind of breathing to understand the sound when it comes in as opposed to being pushed out, right? Take that deep breath before you speak, you know? So again, be in the receptive energy. And again, it's all about balancing the energy so that you can be in complete harmony with what the full moon is asking of us as a collective and you as an individual.
Bingo.
Speaking of groups and Libra,
Yes.
you, my friend, manage this as a Libra moon.
Libra moon peeps, clarity of relationships. And I think seeing which ones are supporting your individuality, right? Because we want to be experiencing the power of the individual when it coming together to common purpose. But first, I have to understand my power as an individual. And if my relationships are not supporting my individuality, clarity.
Yeah. And then there's again that imbalance between the energies if that Libra moon does not feel that they're in harmony with the relationships around them, right?
That's right. And I think that the willingness that a Libra moon will have to feel, right, that they'll have to at least feel willing to let go of the people pleasing, right? There'll be a clarity. And it's like, okay, I've been doing so much that was expected of me to make others happy of me. That's where that Libra and Virgo sort of gel. It's like, oh, well, I want to make everybody happy and I want to follow rules because I've just come out of Virgo and I'm all about following rules, right? I got a little traumatized by Mother Superior, so I don't want to make her mad. And then, but you have to see when that's gone too far. Just like Leo, you have to see when you've capitulated too far as a Libra moon and bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And be like, no, I gotta start saying no, and I have to start acting for myself, and I have to start allowing for people to disapprove of what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that might sound super easy to like an Aquarian, but to a Libra, it's really hard.
Yes, yes. But interestingly and appropriately, the chakra is the heart from the yang position, right? So you're giving that love, but in order for it to be in balance, you can't give it all away. Because again, Libra needs that harmony. Libra needs those scales to be balanced. So you can give it, but you have to give it from that heart space, right? Clarity and surrender, clarity and surrender. I can give the love, but I also need to be ready to receive it too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And again, the associated sounds, just like Taurus, who is in the yin position of the heart chakra, the gongs or the bell sounds. So just listening to a beautiful gong and just imagine that heart opening and sending it out. But sending it out means bringing it back because sound reverberates, right? So there's that balance there.
And the sending out is also calling in relationships that do support your individuality.
Yes, and that's the young part of it. You're calling it in, right? Right.
You're sending it in.
Oh, Scorpio.
Scorpio moon peeps. I loves me a Scorpio moon. Come on now. I really do. So you guys are part of my water trine that are going to be, I think, having the most fun with this full moon. Clarity of passion and desires. What does your heart most want to create? What does your heart most want to express? What does your heart most want to feel? And where do you feel most defensive? So, where as a Taurus moon wants to talk about what its values are, right? What is valuable. Scorpio will take it to precious. What is most precious to you? What do you want to defend? What is your passion? What do that kind of thing. So very, very clear on exactly what that is and acting on it. We've got some Mars energy behind Scorpio. So you're going to want to act on your desires, your passions. You're going to want to act to defend what is precious to you. Precious.
And Scorpionic energy is in interaction with other, right? Because now we're in the stars of other. And so it's not just like the Taurus wants to kind of look and see what's in her cupboard, but the Scorpio wants to actually open the cupboard up to everybody else. But the cupboard is just deeply, passionately theirs. And there may be,
but she's choosy about it. I mean, Scorpio is super picky. It's like, all right, I'll open my cabinet. I recognize that there are others, but you're going to have to pass test A, B, C, and D.
And there's some stuff in the back of the cupboard they may not want you to see.
That's right.
Unless you haven't been entrusted to them, right? So again, to balance that energy, How perfect is this? The associated chakra is the solar plexus. I am able, but in the yin position, right? Scorpio has to receive that power too. You can't discover what's underneath all of it unless you receive it too. You
Yeah,
know, you
unless you
can't
let
push it
somebody
around.
in.
Yeah. Let those people around you in. Express yourself in a way that you can engender trust and vulnerability. And no, you ain't gonna die from it, right? Because again, clarity, surrender. Not surrender in the I'm gonna drown in the bottom of the pool, but surrender in, if I surrender to a little bit of vulnerability here, I'll still float. And
Yes.
actually that vulnerability may allow somebody to throw me the life ring too, if I
Mhm.
need it.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have the pleasure of discovering that people can help.
Yep, yep. And tune your little solar plexus to the harps or strings again, just like Aries. It's going to be the yin perspective of it. Just pull it in. Just pull it into that solar plexus. Imagine the beautiful yellow light energy that's associated with that chakra just coming in and just plucking that solar plexus lightly. It doesn't have to be the fiery passion that, well, I know it's a water sign, but Scorpios can just be intensely passionate.
Mhm. Which
So
is which
Scorpio
is which
moves.
is that beautiful dichotomy of Mars. You think it's all fire and you it's a water sign.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Because
fun.
water can be pretty darn powerful.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And water boiling can
yeah.
do
Can be
some damage.
destructive. Yeah.
Well, and it can also be the alchemizing point, right? The
Yes.
boiling point of water is where all alchemy happens.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Scorpio's got some power. It's a tiny little sign, whole lot of power.
Yep. And because we practice 13 sign astrology, we bring in a fucus. So pray tell, my friend, what do you,
For
what do
those of
you
you lucky enough to have a moon in a fucus, I the clarity here is in your connection to wisdom, knowing that healing is occurring on a metaphysical level and that things need not be as they were, right? So a fucus peeps might be just a little one step beyond it, right?
Yeah,
Moon and a fucus, you guys are like, yeah, there is some major deep healing going on and things need not be as they were. So cycles need not repeat. We need not reference the past. There can be some really deep, amazing, profound healing in this time. And I think you guys are going to be very aware of it. A lot of your sign is not quite in square.
no,
You're,
not quite.
yeah, a little beyond square and not quite in trine. So,
Well, I think part of this too is I think the Ophiucan moon can really get a little too close to the Pisces side because it's like, yeah, I know all this. I got this covered. I know this.
yeah.
Watch for your moon in Virgo to help you keep your feet on the ground too. These changes may be metaphysical,
Mhm,
but we still are human beings in a human body that we've got to function in this physical realm. So
mhm.
keeping that energy of the moon as it's going through Virgo in that earth energy is, I think, an important way to balance it because you could be hanging out in Pisces, right? Way too far out in Pisces.
Right. But you got a quintile connection back to the moon there. So
Yep.
that's why I say that awareness of the change that's happening. And you can anchor yourself down in, and you can anchor yourself in knowing that, okay, the healing is on a deep yin divine feminine level.
Right. And just like Scorpio, it's the yin solar plexus, right? You don't
Mhm.
have to be out there doing everything. You can just let it happen, you
Yeah,
know, and tune in again to the harps and strings playing in your solar plexus area, you know?
exactly. And you're there's something about a fucus that also likes to communicate, right? Because they're essentially just across from that Taurus Gemini cusp.
Yep.
So you guys might be, more the oracles, more the reporters, more the
Yes.
dream keepers more. You might find that you're really needing to journal this experience more, to talk about, to get your downloads and express them or share them somehow.
And not just for yourself.
Yes.
You're the historians of all of this for what
Yeah.
we're going through, right?
Yes.
That's what was coming to me. It's that goes back to the connection to wisdom. It's not just for my own personal knowledge, it's for the wisdom of the collective humanity as we go through this pretty profound time in our astrological history.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if you've been,
Ophiuchus moons, we need you.
yeah, yes. Sagittarius friends.
Clarity of motivation. What is your next adventure? Right? Yes. Sagittarius moons now are going to be, yep, what's next?
Actually, you guys are the ones that are probably going to figure out how to get to where the eclipse is going to be seen.
That's it. Yes. Yes.
You know, you're the ones that are,
Sagittarius are going to be the ones that wake up that morning and like, look at their partner over a cup of coffee and like, you wanna? Yeah. And suddenly the Thelma and Louise it on down to wherever the totality is happening. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I can totally see that.
That's you guys.
And the associated chakra is the sacral chakra in the yang energy, right? You're pushing out what doesn't feed your creative and emotional center of the sacral chakra, right? Not imagination, but like the creation of life kind of creativity. And flutes or crickets are the associated sounds, right? So maybe tune into the sound, because crickets, they use their feet to make sounds. And you can use that, it can be very melodious. So just imagine, put your hand on your lower abdomen area and just put your hands there and imagine that you're pulling out the flute sounds and sending it onto the earth, right? As you take that adventure in the car and go see the eclipse.
Yeah,
Actually, I can see
absolutely.
the notes going out the window, right? Metaphorically.
Gonna see yeah. Or, whatever your next adventure is, you might be like, you know what, I'm gonna move to Borneo. You know what, I'm gonna travel around the world. You know what, you want to make an adventure for yourself. And that adventure is going to be based on something you're curious about.
Yes.
I have always wanted to see the pyramids. I think I'll move to Egypt for 3 years. Very Sagittarius moon thing to do, right? Yeah.
You never know. You never.
Yeah. I love my Sag moons.
Well, and then those Capricornian ones, what are you with a Capricorn moon going to do with this full moon?
Yeah. So my Capricorn moons, I think, are going to have clarity of, this is a little different. There's clarity of motivation for Sagittarius, but clarity of ambition for Capricorn. What do you want to accomplish? So for you, it's going to be, all right, what do I want to get done now? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to start building? What do I want to continue building? And again, because we've just come off of 585.5s, we're about to have an eclipse, it's a full moon, that will change. Whatever your ambition had been, you will find it, my Capricorn moons will probably find it's changed. If you listen to your Capricorn moon, you'll be like, ooh, I don't feel like pursuing that anymore. I'm feeling like I need a new ambition, or my ambition is now something else.
And Capricorns, again, they're the star, the part of the sky that Capricorn is all about is about other, right? How do you do this so it may help others or build something for others? Your ambition is being pushed out into the world. It's this energy of creating some sort of plan or structure that helps people perhaps find that balance between clarity and surrender.
That's it. Capricorn moon is like the guy who was a big captain of the corporate world, all of a sudden realizing, now what I want to do is build a water treatment plant, or is build a desalination plant, or something that, I want to use all of my past corporate experience to create something else of greater benefit.
Well, and that Mercury in Pisces may bring in something you didn't even expect, like some sort of email that comes along that says, hey, we've got this opportunity. And you kind of go, oh, that came out of left field. but I'm going to surrender to it a little bit and see if I get some clarity on whether this is my plan for ambition now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Clarity, ambition. What do I next want to do? Do I want to, make money? Or do I want to build something for the, and in either way, it's okay.
Right.
Your ambition might be, I need to build wealth because, there are other things I need to do, and money is the vehicle I need to do it. You may find that, all right, I need to stop making money. I need to stop building wealth and start building buildings, or you may need to start building bridges. You might find that your ambition is to study the law.
Yeah.
So that you can, help create a more stable legal system.
And again, this is all, you may be doing it as the individual, but the Capricorns do it for the benefit of the world in some degree, right? And how you're going to manage this energy is at the root chakra, stability, foundation, but in the yin position. So again, opening up to receiving what may come in, and the sound actually is bumblebees. So the buzz sound, right? The vibration of buzz, the bees, they're builders. They build in the little hive. They create the foundations, right? So you just might sit outside and listen to the bees. Go someplace where you hear them in a hive or whatever it happens to be. There's a plethora of stuff out online that you can find, but just sit there and listen to the bees and how they buzz, and you'll hear different sounds, and just imagine that.
Subconsciously remind you how to create a stable structure.
Yes, yes. Oh, you Aquarians, what are you going to do with all this?
Aquarian moon. So we've had clarity of motivation, clarity of ambition. Aquarian moon's clarity of vision, right? What's my vision? What type of world are you longing to help build? What's your vision? Does it have integrity?
And Aquarians are innovative too. They tend to look beyond just what's immediately in front of them. It's like that futuristic thinking, like you said, the visionary, the big picture.
The vision. Yeah.
And for all of humanity. It's not just for the people out your back door. This is a big kind of thing. So, Aquarians, when you think about that vision, think big. Really expand into that, but hold to the authenticity of it as you receive it, right?
That's right.
And does it have integrity? Right, exactly. And integrity doesn't necessarily mean only like from the moralistic point of view. It's also, does it have the integrity to stand?
That's
Does it
right.
have foundational integrity?
Exactly. It's the difference between a dream and a vision. Right. A vision has a certain amount of integrity behind it. Like, okay, I've dreamed it, but I've taken it a step further into a vision. I can actually envision this.
Yep.
I have a vision. I might dream of having a beautiful house, but I can envision the house when I draw the floor plan.
Right.
Or I draw a room, or that's my vision.
Mm-hmm. And just like Capricorns, Aquarius, you're also the root chakra, but in the yang position, the giving of the energy. So you're the one that's going to go have the conversation with Capricorn and buzz like a bee with the Capricorn, right? You're the one that's going to give that Capricorn that buzzing foundational frequency, if you will, to make sure that it is stable. But again, this is for your own personal energy to be able to project it out to the world too. So it's your chakra energy. So just envision that, tune into it, the base of your spine. Yes.
Yeah, and keeping in mind, Mars and Venus and Saturn are in Aquarius.
Yes.
Right now.
Right here.
They are here. They're in it. Right. So you've got some planetary assistance in this moon, right? So you'll be feeling again that vision with a little bit of drive, and that vision with knowing that there's integrity behind it, and then a little bit of heart in it, that it's like, no, this is a gift. The vision is probably going to have some altruistic component because Venus in Aquarius.
Well, and depending on where your moon is in the stars of Aquarius, the conjunctions could be happening, and it's going to trigger that emotional need to do it, right?
Yes.
And moons are also, the way the moon shows in our chart is how we manage change. How do we respond to change when it comes our way? And, God knows the world is every time you turn around, something's changing. So you Aquarian moons, you're going to be the ones that go, okay, what kind of visionary approach can I take to when this change comes in? I'm going to look at the big picture and find the solution in the big picture, not just, right in the palm of my hand, right?
Yeah.
So, and last but not least, we have our Piscean friends who are going to feel this a little differently because the sun is in Pisces and everything else is in Pisces.
The sun and all of its buddies are in Pisces with you.
Yes.
So there is a very good, in fact, I'd be shocked if you weren't conjunct something.
Yep.
In this bunch right now. So clarity of connection to spirit, knowing what is being healed on a deep metaphysical level, and that things will not be as they were. So we had a fucus over there, knowing that things need not be as they were. You're like, yeah, it's going to be a whole new thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a whole new thing. And I think the process of surrender is going to be so much easier for you.
Yeah.
I really do.
Natural.
Yeah, if you're not, because it's natural. If you're not there already, and you've probably been surrendering to this process for a while now, but having that sun right on it just adds that clarity of, okay, I get what's happening. Yep.
Well, and again, I remind people though too, is when it's over balanced or out of balance, if you will, into the Piscean side, that surrender could be the sinking to the bottom of the pool. So you got to remember, you got to grab that ladder and climb out on the land. If you're all up in because Pisces can be escapist, right? The addictions,
That's true.
the behavior of, all right, I'll just surrender to whatever is, and I'm going to do it in a way that I create the surrender, right? Not in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again, finding that balance of surrendering, but in a way that you're doing it with clarity and deliberation, not as a means to escape it all. And for you, it's again the sacral chakra, the center of creation and emotion, but in the yin position, again, the surrender position. This is the flute or cricket sound. So just lay there and imagine somebody playing the sound of a flute over you, and you just feel that come in and open up that chakra so that you can allow for that creative imagination in a planful but not escapist kind of way.
And it's that creative energy that generally keeps Pisces moons, grounded.
Right, right.
Is a desire to bring something into manifest fruition from that super deep place where everything is changing, where everything's everything. I mean, and you're right. I imagine our Pisces moons are going to have a real hard time staying connected to,
Here.
reality. But
Right.
on the other hand, I think that my Pisces moons also have to accept that they just see reality in a different way.
Right.
Right. And there's going to be a lot of benefit in silence
Yes.
to a Pisces. Not only so that you can hear what you want to hear, but also because then you don't risk getting yourself jarred by others trying to tell you what you need to see.
Right. Right.
Right. Because because you don't, you just are not going to see things like, and by see, I mean, sense things. You're just going to have more senses open and more
Yes.
awareness of the beyondness of things and the behindness of things. And
Well, and we were also talking about the idea, the Virgo Pisces axis is a really, really profound axis in the chart. And at AXIS axis, because you've got the Virgo earthy stars are the last grouping for the self to go in to service to other, right? And then you've got the Piscean stars getting ready to connect to the all that is before you become one as a singular individual again. And if you really think about this is, as we said, setting the stage. We've got this divine golden cord coming down through us from Pisces, the divine, us as the channel connection as human beings to connect to the earth of Virgo. And if we don't understand that channel of energy with what's coming up with this fairly profound eclipse, it's going to be pretty jarring. So this is the time to really make sure you understand that axis. So
and that you are part of that axis.
yeah,
We all are sort of living it right now. So
yes.
Pisces moon, show us how it's done, man, because this is what you're living like all the time right now.
And it's the collective nodal axis, right? It's what we're asked to be doing as a collective in terms of our evolution at this time. Because the transits are for the collective, and it's just a matter of how they talk to your specific chart on how you receive it. But it's humanity is being asked to do this now. So it's pretty big. So I'm going to take our share off because we're just about at the end of our time together here. So if we have any other last minute words, whew, that's a lot.
Yep, I think we laid quite enough on them.
Yes, this is a big one. So again, it'll be March 25th will be the full moon.
Yep.
And we'll go ahead and upload the recording here, probably in the next couple of days or so by the time it does its conversion and I can get it all out to the world, so to speak. We'll have some time to digest it before the full moon hits. And then the other thing is, for those of us on Radical Astrology, we've got a panel of all of us crazy star people. There's going to be six other ones aside from Maria and me, I believe, if I'm doing the math right.
I think so.
A round table on March 29th. It'll be live through Radical Astrology Facebook, so you have to be a member of the Radical Astrology group to see it live. And the panel will be interacting, and the people joining us live to watch it, you can interact through Facebook comments. Because we want to be able to actually get out of there before, 2025, if we have everybody in the
I know.
so we'll do that. But for those of you who are not on Radical Astrology, we'll put the recording up so you can catch it on replay. And we're going to do that March 29th. It'll be 8 p.m. US Eastern Daylight Time. So that'll be 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And the rest of you'll just have to do the math on worldbuddy.com. You can figure out your time, or you can click on links and it'll show you. So anyway, we'll keep putting announcements out on Radical Astrology, but again, the recordings will be available through not only that platform, but YouTube channels and things like that. All of us on the panel, I think, have a YouTube channel or some sort of social media where we can share the recording. Or some sort of social media where we can share the recording. Links work too. So again, Julie Sherwood, Your Best Hopes Wellness Coaching, yourbesthopeswc.com, and my friend,
Maria Schumacher, Venus-13.com.
All right.